Oh, you just pressed play on This Week with Drunk Astrology. My name is Breitenstein. I'm your astrologer and the creator of Drunk Astrology. If you're looking for someone to make astrology make sense to you and for you, well, my friend, you have come to the right place. Here on this podcast, we discuss the weekly cosmic weather. And when we break it down, we break it down. I believe that astrology can be used as a tool to inform your daily decisions and enhance your day-to-day life. So if you're ready to have a hell of a lot of fun with astrology, make some strategic decisions, and to just keep it real, well, that journey starts right now. 'Cause karma is the thunder, rattling your ground. Karma's on your scent like a bounty hunter. And karma's gonna track you down, step by step from town to town. Sweet like justice, karma is a queen. Karma takes all my friends to the summit backs. Karma is the guy on the screen, coming straight home to me. Karma is my boyfriend. Karma is a god. Karma is the breeze in my hair on the weekend. Karma's a relaxing thought. Aren't you envious that for you it's not? Sweet like honey, karma is a cat, purring in my lap 'cause it loves me. Flexing like a goddamn acrobat. Me and karma vibe like that. Karma is my boyfriend. Hey, Herman. Karma is a god. Karma is my bestie. Karma's a relaxing thought. Karma's gonna hold you down. Karma is one of the themes of this week, Astro Lover. Why, you might ask? Well, I'm gonna answer that question in this friggin' podcast. Welcome to the podcast for the week of June 12th through the 18th, 2023. We are rocking and rolling through the 6th month of 2023. Can you believe it's going by this fast? I can, because the last few weeks alone have been like, oh, okay. You know, we're coming off of the last 2 weeks where we had last week 11 eye roll aspects, and the week before that we had 20 eye roll aspects. Well, I am happy to report that we're getting better and better with each week. This week we have a total of 7 eye roll aspects. Now, that's still quite a number of eye rolls. Preferably, you know, we would like to stay in the 0 to like 4 range. And just kind of like, okay, cool. Let's just have the majority of the aspects be great. But 7 ain't so bad, especially when you think back to 2 weeks ago and even last week. I know last week for sure, for me, I was rolling my eyes and slightly fearful that they were going to get stuck in the rolled position. But we do have some eye rolls, and we'll talk about them. They're planetary eye rolls, which means they're more potent when they are within planets. When they're happening with the moon, I mean, of course, the moon is one of our planets, but when it's happening with the moon, it's just more like the day-to-day flow is like knocked off. But when it's a planetary eye roll, we're looking at feeling something more potent. It's coming from a more powerful figure or a more substantial figure in your life, or it's a little more, it affects you a little bit more, or there's bigger changes, there's bigger adjustments, the story is amplified in some way when the planets are the ones making the aspects. And when I say that, I'm talking about a personal planet, sun, moon, hold on, I don't want to confuse you. Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars aspecting an outer planet, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, Pluto. Okay? Jupiter. Throw that in there too. So when those planets make aspects to each other, whether they're trines and sextiles and they're super flowy and great, or they're squares, quincunxes, and oppositions, you know, either way, they are more potent, and we feel them down here, big time. And so we're going to talk about the planetary eye rolls this week. But why is karma? Why is Taylor Swift with Ice Spice remix on the brain? Well, because Saturn, our planet of karma, time, challenges, restrictions, limitations, responsibility, duty, and accountability, stations retrograde this weekend. So Saturday morning, June 17th, we are going to have that planet and his energy stationing to go backwards all the way until November 4th. Saturn is, of course, newly in Pisces this year, where I have dubbed the next 2.5 years the no toxic bitches era. And so now Saturn in that zone, stationing, aka stopping in the sky to hightail it in reverse, can bring up old stories where karma is due. So if you've been waiting, if you've just been patiently or impatiently waiting for karma to do her thing, well, starting this weekend, karma can start doing her thing. Okay? So you're gonna see now that could also mean that, any toxic stories, toxic relationships, toxic dynamics that have been running for you, don't be surprised if they rear their ugly head. Okay? It doesn't have to mean a confrontation with whoever's involved or whatever it is. You could be in a therapy session or in a reading and it comes up, you get re-triggered in a relationship that has nothing to do with that dynamic, and it brings it all up again. Now, the idea, since Saturn has been in Pisces the last few months and you've been getting the chance and opportunity to feel out its energy while it's here, we're here for a minute, we're here for 2.5 years. Now that he's stationing and going in reverse, you now have the opportunity that if and when moments of toxicity or trauma triggers rear their ugly heads and their emotional heads, that you have enough experience to boundary your reality. Okay? And what I mean by that is that you know enough, you've experienced this energy enough over the last few months that you can say, hey, to tell you the truth, like, you and I are on different paths. And because you and I are on different paths, we're not really, I'm not really in alignment with where you're going. Like right now, we're parallel. And that's nothing against you. That's not a personal thing. It's just that when our paths are parallel to each other with no cross sections in sight, that I think this is going to have to be a moment where we separate, or where we, let's take space. Why don't you go live that path, go explore that path. I'm staying on my path, or I'm veering off and I'm going in a different direction. So, your path could potentially hurt me, or vice versa. My path, the path I'm choosing, might hurt you. So in order to not let that happen and in order to prevent either of us from having that experience, I think this is the boundary. This is the thing. This is the way to go. Why don't we check back in 5 months? Let's check back in at the top of November and see where we're at. Right? So I'm just giving you an example, but however your stories are running, and you might already have a little bit of a whisper of where you might need to lay the law down, or where you might need to establish a boundary where you didn't feel like you had to before. And there's been enough rummaging beneath the surface leading up to this weekend when Saturn stations, then you get the opportunity. Now, when I say you get the opportunity, understand that this might be a chance encounter that you don't see coming, or you cross roads with somebody that you haven't seen or haven't talked about or haven't wanted to see or talk about, And then you cross paths and it's like that reminder of like, oh God. And sometimes it's not even, this is what I'll say for myself, experiencing this energy sometimes. It's not necessarily a trigger, but it reminds you of a way you felt before. And that thought, thinking back to the way it felt before, that's what's most painful. It's remembering and recalling like, oh my God, there was a time in my life where I allowed that. I experienced that and I protected that even. And now in a newer, fleshed out, no toxic bitch era, you look back and you're reminded of that feeling. And then, you get down, not because you miss it, not because it's nostalgic, but because you're sad for the version of yourself that allowed the experience, right? Or had some part of the upset that was going on. Okay, so Saturn retrograde in Pisces Saturn gets a bad rep. And I kind of want to demystify that a little bit. Yes, Saturn can be hard and his lessons can be like smackdowns. And we actually have a little bit of a smackdown from Saturn earlier in the week. We'll talk about it. But Saturn just wants you to think of it as a dad or like even a grandfather figure, looking at a younger person with so much wisdom and experience and knowledge, looking and saying, I just want what's best for you. Think about King Triton in The Little Mermaid when he's looking at his daughter, who he is fiercely trying to protect from going to the the land where she could potentially get hurt by the human race who, killed his wife. And it was accidental, granted, in the story. But still, there is that when he realizes, she's got a cavern full of human treasure, that the only way he can protect her is by destroying it. And it's that tough decision that you have to make. This is Saturn right there. That is a Saturn move. Like, I love you so much, and the only way I think I can protect you is if I take this away from you. So yes, Saturn can do that, but if you think about the tough lessons, just think about the teachers that you've had in life. And I'm not saying the teachers you had in high school and college. I'm saying the teachers, your life teachers, who have taught you tough lessons, whether they are romantic partners that, just put you through the mud and just destroyed you. Think about when you came out on the other side of it. And if you're in it, there is a version of you, future, that is on the other side of it and looks back and says, oh my God, I learned so much from that. That's when I turned my life around. That's when I realized I wasn't doing anything that I wanted to do. I wasn't pursuing anything that I wanted because I was a different version for the relationship. Right? So that's a Saturn reward. Saturn can put you through, he can put you through hell. But if you know it's Saturn, if you know that that's the planetary influence, you know that your reward is a bigger, badder bitch on the other side. Because he's teaching you how to, in Pisces, he's teaching you how to let go of toxic energy. And maybe that's within yourself. If you attract toxic people, there is some part of you that is toxic. And Saturn will teach you that, will teach you a behavior that is attracting something that you don't actually want or like or desire. He will show it to you. He might show it to you in a way that slams you down on the friggin' ground. But that epiphany, and when it finally clicks, you you approach life differently, and you set boundaries healthily, or you set healthy boundaries quicker within relationships, new friendships, within your family, new romantic partnerships, because you want to preserve and protect them. That's what Saturn is asking you to do. If you have real hard time setting boundaries, you have to think of it from a perspective that you are preserving and protecting a relationship that you genuinely care about. So if you have to be uncomfortable for 5 minutes, then be uncomfortable and have the difficult conversation with the intention of, I need to do this because I love this relationship so much. I love this friendship. I respect this friendship. And because of that, we need to handle this now so that we can just move past it and be done with it. Healthy, supportive relationships are going to appreciate that tenfold. I'm telling you this as someone who has been building new relationships over the last 3 years. And having come from losing friendships from long-term friendships and not wanting to go through that again. I've had 2 rounds of that. Now, granted, Scorpio rules my 3rd house, so anywhere Pluto goes, that's where you're going to have evolution. So my friendship circle, that it's written in there, but I don't want to have friends for 15, 18 years and then lose them. Especially when it's not necessary, and when it's things that are so hurtful and that take you down. I mean, that's really like the last 3 years been rebuilding a friend circle. Now, it's been beautiful, but at the same time, there's that adjustment period where you have to tell somebody, you have to, teach them about you and your boundaries and how you operate and expectations, whatever, like those moments pop up and you can't be fearful of them. Saturn in Pisces wants you to work through your fear. So those are the opportunities that are coming with Saturn stationing in Pisces starting this Saturday. I went on a Saturn tangent, but I think it was necessary because it's one of the heavy-hitting aspects of this week. Now, we also have a Gemini new moon the same day. So this weekend and leading up to, I've dubbed the promise of a new beginning. Talk about new friendships, a new inner circle. Gemini new moon is all about calling that in. If you feel like you're having a hard time finding friends or connecting with someone, whether you're an adult or you're a teen, it doesn't matter what stage of life you're in. If you feel like you're missing friendships and you're having a more difficult time, this Gemini new moon's a great time to call that in. On a professional front, great time for success, contracts and negotiations, agreements. They can be made. You can call them in if you feel like, damn, I kind of don't really feel like I'm getting much traction. If you don't feel like you're using your voice to express yourself authentically, the Gemini new moon is here for you. Manifest under it. Set your intentions. Build your altar. Call in. Take this week as an opportunity to figure out what you are lacking. Because new moons come around and it's such a paradox, because the same area where we have opportunity and growth potential is the same area where we feel like we're missing it. And so people that aren't in tune with the lunar cycles and they're not conscious manifestors, under a new moon, there's an appeal to acknowledge what you are without and subconsciously start manifesting in the negative. And you cannot manifest in the negative. I know I'm probably preaching to the choir, but just in case you're new here, just in case you're new to astrology or spirituality and manifestation, the universe recognizes energy. It does not recognize language. Okay? So if you say, I don't want a boyfriend that's 5'5". I don't want a boyfriend that's 5'5". I don't want a boyfriend that's 5'5". all the universe translates is boyfriend 5-5. So who's going to show up on your dating app? Someone that you think is real cute, looking real nice, and then shows up and is 5'5". But you have a connection, but you're so torn between, like, I don't know. I've always had this restriction that you have to be 5'10" and up. I don't know. Not so good. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I should be talking in the ears of conscious manifestors. So this weekend especially, affirm positive manifestations and only think in the positive. So let me just give you some days. I'm going to give you a couple days before we hop into news board and then into the rest of the aspects. My eyes are on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday as the days as the week's busiest days. Now I'm going to give a half a day for Wednesday, because Wednesday, although there's no planetary action, the Taurus moon makes 2 eye roll aspects. So we'll cover that. So Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday they are the most cosmically busy weeks. So as above, so below, as without, so within. So we've got our eyes there. But Monday and Friday look like Monday through Friday. No, not Monday through. Monday and Friday seem to be days where you can kind of catch your breath. Tuesday, Thursday, potentially Wednesday. Depending. It's kind of potent. Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday and a half. Saturday, Sunday, go mode. Very, very much go mode. And Saturday, Sunday, the weekend, you might be running a little ragged. You might be running a little haggard because there's a lot. And the new moon's already, it's yin energy. It can kind of like, I feel like I'm just coming out of full moon exhaustion. And now I'm going to be like, what? Oh, now I'm going to be in new moon, Saturn station, and then Sunday has a Sun-Neptune square. Like, oh, I'm just going to be brain fogged all weekend. Perfect. But knowing that, you might want to offload if you can. Yours truly, my weekend is packed. So I already know. I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. I'm gonna be on one, in all good ways. But I will say, it's just like, okay, I gotta mentally prepare. So we have the promise of a new beginning. We have karma is a relaxing thought, and then some planetary eye rolls. Now, before we jump into the moons and the other aspects. News board items, I'm going to just keep singing it from the rooftops. A Daily Dose of Stars is free all June long. That is the daily podcast hosted by yours truly, 2 to 5 minute long episodes, uploading to your podcast platform at 2 a.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. Eastern, every single day, to get you in line with the cosmic activity. What's good for the day, what's bad for the day, what to do, what not to do. And when the nodes of fate, these karmic destiny points, are in direct motion, hint, there are 2 days this week where they are. And those are the days where you can take fate and destiny into your hands and make a strategic move. You can set up a meeting, make a pitch, send a proposal, strike up a deal. Something, even if you get a no under the nodes of fate, that is a destined no. That's a no for a reason. And so when you know that the nodes are on your side and you don't hear what you want to hear, that you can tap into acceptance, because you can just say, like, all right, fate and destiny are on my side today, so I'm going to take that no and process it. You know, you still have to be a human, but the gift of astrology is knowing, like, all right, this is a fated no. Next, the Drunk Astrology Pool Party. We are so close. Sunday, June 25th is the pool party at the Line Hotel in Koreatown. You do not have to be an LA local to come to this party. But those of you that are in SoCal, for the love of all that is holy, come to this pool party, 12 to 5 p.m., Sunday, June 25th at the Line Hotel. Now, if you're out of town and you're like jonesing to come in and you need a place to stay, the Line gave me a discount code. All you got to do is send me a message. Contact info is in the show notes of this podcast. Send me a message. I'll get you the code and we'll get your stay. Now, because there's already Drunk Astro clients flying in, we got a meet and greet set up on Saturday the 24th at the pool at the Line from 5 to 7 p.m. We're going to be debuting a couple cosmic cocktails that yours truly has curated for the party. And we're going to meet and talk and just mix and mingle. Those of you that are around, you're going to meet Mr. and Mrs. Drunk Astrology. That's right. My parents are coming into town. I got family coming. I got my best friends coming. I've got clients coming. You know, the Drunk Astro fam is like showing up and showing out. It's going to be, oh my God. It's just going to be, there's so much happening at the party that you're going to think like, how the hell did you pull this off? Because I'm even like, in the prep leading up to the party, like, how am I pulling this off? But I'm pulling it off. So that's that. I don't think there is any other news, right? Because nope, that's not that. Okay, so let's jump out of the news board and into the moons. Monday, the moon is in Aries, so go, go, go. Tuesday, moon in Aries. It does have a square to Pluto, so watch. That is a little bit of a war aspect there in the early afternoon, so keep that in mind. Then on Tuesday, the moon switches into Taurus, where it is rest of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's a couple little eye roll aspects there, so we'll watch for that. Then early evening on Thursday, moon goes into Gemini, where it is Thursday night, Friday, Saturday. And then Sunday, the moon enters Cancer in the wee hours of the night, and then takes us into the next week. So very nice that Father's Day, June 18th, has a Cancer moon, because Cancer rules family and home and foundation. And we're going to celebrate our fathers and our father figures, whoever they are. On that day, and that's a really nice aspect. So let's talk about the planetary eye rolls, shall we? So on Tuesday, my eye is really on Tuesday because Venus is in Leo. I want what I want, and I want to have fun. I want to create. I want to do this, and yes, I am so stoked. Has a quincunx to Saturn. So you're looking at bosses, you're looking at authority figures, you're looking at some kind of VIP relationship, partner, collaborator, potential hiree, employer, etc. But this is ew, this is ugh, this is annoying, it's ick, it's an eye roll. So something on the work front it's not great, and it's not this is not happy energy at all. And one of the questions I wrote out is, why are you not on your ish? Okay, so you might have something like that kind of experience where like, if you would just do your job, we'd be fine. Some kind of vibe like that, so just keep that in mind. On Thursday, we have a little bit of a no or an ending, some kind of smackdown energy, not really hearing what you want to hear, or you hear something that is going to require you to do more than you thought. Okay, Mercury square Saturn. Mercury is riding high in Gemini, happy as a clam there, but when he squares Saturn, it's delivering a message that you don't necessarily like. So I also want to just caution to watch what you say and how you say it. Beware of a clapback, whether it's coming from you or someone else. People are going to be quick. With Mercury and Gemini, they are going to be quick to snap back. And I don't want that for you, especially if it's a situation where you're, talking to a boss or you're talking to someone who has authority over you. Or it's just it's a VIP relationship for you and you're coming in hot. So I just want you to be mindful of that. Friday, remember, is a quiet day. We do start the morning. Friday morning might not start so great. We'll cover it in a daily dose, though. But the rest of the day seems to pick up. Saturday, we have the Gemini new moon at 9:37 p.m. So activating 26 degrees and 43 minutes of Gemini in your chart. So find your chart. Look for the houses that Gemini rules. Look for any planets in Gemini. Then also look for 26, somewhere around there, 24 to 28 degrees in your chart. This new moon is activating those points. So if you've got strong Gemini somewhere or you got planets around 24 to 28 degrees, this new moon is activating a portal of manifestation where communication is going to be your sweet sauce to getting what you want. We have a Mercury-Venus sextile on Saturday, 8:30 in the morning. That is, that's like sweet nothings. That's a sweet little... It's a sweet little gesture. It's a nice little romantic or just it could be platonic too, but this is just really nice exchange of words between two people that really care about each other. So you might want to if you have a card, Saturday's a good day to kind of surprise somebody. Write them a handwritten note. Put Post-its around the house, if you're leaving before somebody wakes up, and just send a nice message, send something unexpected, something that would just light somebody up. Okay, so Saturday, light somebody up. You don't need a reason. Tell them you love them. Tell them you appreciate them. Tell them you miss them, even if you saw them less than 24 hours ago. Saturday's a great day for that. Then we have Saturn stationing retrograde at 10:27 in the morning. Again, I went ad nauseum with Saturn, so you already know what that is activating, what that's opening up. Then Sunday night, we have a Sun square Neptune. Now, Neptune is that nebulous planet up there, brain fog galore. So beware of just kind of where you're a little foggy. Now, also beware of doing too much over the weekend, right? A Sun-Neptune square can be a hard hangover. Sun in Gemini is our head, it's our mind. So and Neptune is fog, so it can fog us up in the way of oh shoot, we overdid it. we drank too much, we smoked too much, we did too much. So just beware overdoing it, but on the personal front, I want to say too, no culture vultures. Practice discernment. Trust your instincts. If you have a negative hit about someone over the weekend, I want you to trust that. Okay? Remember, Saturn rewards doing hard things. You can do hard things. My friend Sloan and I just had that conversation because she really inspired me. She's testing her own limits of her mind, her emotions, her physical body. And she's going to do a triathlon next year, and it's really exciting. But when we were talking about it, and I said she was really inspiring me, she said, we can do hard things. So when it comes to this weekend, keep that in the back of your mind. Okay, that's what I got for you this week. I hope that you thoroughly have a great week. At least our eye roll aspects they're dwindling, right? From 20 to 11 to 7. Let's see what the next week holds. Have a great one. I'll see you throughout the week. Don't forget, Daily Dose of Stars. Search it on your podcast platform. Subscribe and listen every single day. It's free all month long. Talk to you soon. Bye. This is Graham Breitenstein, and you've been listening to This Week with Drunk Astrology. If you want to follow Drunk Astrology, head to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and hit that follow button. And if you want to learn how to put astrology in motion for you, head to drunkastro.com and get on the insider list. If you haven't already, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Google platforms. Tune in next week for yet another opportunity to work in sync with the stars. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.